Hello everyone, Terry Teeth here, and today we're going to be reading The Adventures of Captain Underpants, an epic novel by Dave Pilkey. Yeah, I got the film of it, so yeah, and I got the novel. Yeah, I think I've read this one before. Oh, I've read the other Captain Underpants book, which is the Boogie, whatever they're called. Alright. I don't have enough hands for it, so I don't know why I'm holding the tablet. So I've got The Adventures of Captain Underpants. Tra-la-la! Yeah, I like the film better. With Ed Helms and other actors who played... Yeah. So chapters, George and Harold. Chapter 2, Treehouse Comics Inc. Chapter 3, The Adventures of Captain Underpants. Chapter 4, Me Not Mr. Krupp. Yeah. Chapter 1. George and Harold. Meet George Beard and Harold Hutchins. George is the kid on the left with the tie and the flat top. Harold is the one who on the right with the t-shirt and the bad haircut. Remember that now? Flower shop, pick your own roses. George and Harold were best friends. They had a lot in common. They lived right next door to each other and they were both in the same 4th grade class at Jerome Howard's elementary school. George and Harold were usually responsible kids. Whenever anything bad happened, George and Harold were usually responsible. Flower shop, pick our noses. Yeah, that's quite funny though. But don't get the wrong idea about these two. George and Harold were actually very nice boys. No matter what everybody else thought, they were good, sweet and lovable. Well, okay, maybe they weren't so sweet and lovable, but they were good nonetheless. It's just that George and Harold each had a silly streak a mile long. Usually that silly streak was hard to control. Sometimes it got them into trouble, and once it got them into big trouble. But before I can tell you that story, I have to tell you this story. Yeah, Chapter 2, Treehouse Comics Inc. Yeah, the pages of the chapters are not as long as other novels. After a hard day of cracking jokes, pulling pranks, and causing mayhem at school, George and Harold liked to rush to the old treehouse in George's backyard. Inside the treehouse were 2 big old fluffy chairs, a table, a cupboard crammed with junk food, and a padlocked crate filled with pencils, pens, and stacks of paper. Now Harold loved to draw, and George loved to make up stories, and together the two boys spent hours and hours writing and drawing their very own comic books. Over the years, they had created hundreds of their own comics, starring dozens of their own superheroes. First there was a dog man, then came Timmy the Talking Toilet, and who could forget the Amazing Cow Lady, but the all-time greatest superhero they ever made up had to be the Amazing Captain Underpants. George came up with the idea. Most superheroes look like they're flying around in their underwear, he said. Well, this guy actually is flying around in his underwear. The two boys laughed and laughed. Yeah, said Harold. He could fight with wedgie power. George and Harold spent entire afternoons writing and drawing the comic adventures of Captain Underpants. He was their coolest superhero ever. Luckily for the boys, the secretary at Jerome Howard's elementary school was much too busy to keep an eye on the copy machine, so whenever they got a chance, Harold and George would sneak into the office and run off several hundred copies of their latest Captain Underpants adventure. After school, they sold their homemade comics on the playground for $50 each, or £50 in Britain. Chapter 3, The Adventures of Captain Underpants. Tra-la-la! The Really Cool Adventures of Captain Underpants, written by George Beard, drawn by Harold Hutchins. It was a time of darkness and despair for planet Earth. Bad guys had taken over the streets and all of the superheroes in the world were too old to fight evil. Hey! Ha ha! Then long came a new improved extra strength superhero. Tra-la-la! Look, up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's an egg salad sandwich! No way, I'm Captain Underpants! Captain Underpants was faster than the speeding waistband. Zoom! More powerful than boxer shorts. And able to leap tall buildings without getting a wedgie. Tra-la-la! Night and day, Captain Underpants watched over the city fighting for truth, justice, and all that is pre-shrunk and cottony. Meanwhile, at a nearby elementary school, turn the page. Okay. It was Stinky Taco Surprise Day at the cafeteria. Yuck! Everybody hated it so much, they all threw it away. Trash. Soon the cafeteria food came to life. I am the inedible hunk. The monster ran around the school eating everything in sight. Munch. Help, the inedible hunk just ate up 15 holding chairs and the gym teacher. Oh no, not the folding chairs. Principal! This looks like a job for tra-la-la Captain Underpants. Captain Underpants shot lots of underwear at the monster, but it didn't do any good. Zip, munch, munch. So Captain Underpants took off running. The inedible hunk chased him. Grrr, help! And chased him, and chased him. Finally, the inedible hunk got too tired and thirsty to chase Captain Underpants. How about a nice drink of water? So the monster took a long drink from a shiny white bowl. Gulp, gulp. Then when suddenly, flush! Hooray for Captain Underpants! And so the inedible hunk got flushed away and was never heard from again. Tra-la-la! The end. Don't miss our next exciting adventure, Captain Underpants and the Attack of the Talking Toilets, coming soon to a playground near you. Treehouse Comics Inc.